Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you guys are doing good because today's topic is going to be a very good one. So, today I wanted to talk to you guys about being grateful and being happy in the present moment and, you know, appreciating what you have today and not being anxious on what you don't have or not being depressed on your past. So, I made a couple videos in the past where I talked about overcoming depression and living in the present, but today I'm going to emphasize on, staying grateful because that is what brings happiness. Have you ever thought to yourself and say, why am I unhappy? Or why can't I just be happy all the time? Now, just kind of be careful what you wish for, right? Because if you're happy all the time, you won't appreciate what happiness really is. Because if you don't have the ups and downs, you will never get a taste of what it really feels to be happy, what it really feels to enjoy something after a long wait or after a setback, right? An accomplishment. Anything that is positive, you almost have to go through a negative, or at least you have to know what a negative is to know the positive, and vice versa. So, I'm just here to tell you that happiness isn't something you feel all the time, it's an emotion, right? And it would be kind of too boring if you were happy all the time or if you were sad all the time. Life would be gloomy and sad, and everything would just be negative. However, we have these ups and downs. We go through different emotions and we are supposed to feel different emotions. We're not supposed to suppress any emotion at all, really, because I would suggest we have to feel through those emotions and get through those emotions, understand where they're coming from, why they're there, and use them for advantage, right? Like in anger, let's say. You can be angry at something, but if you transform that anger in a proper way, right? You don't have to really act out or by, let's say, hitting somebody or anything like that, right? But you can take that anger, kind of let it go, transfer that through your body, and then move on um, using your mind, right? So, to really stay on topic, I want to say that I feel like we can all find happiness now and we can all be grateful now, what we have, right? So, like I said, a lot of people really struggle with being happy. They say, when I'm going to make money, I'm going to be happy. When I'm going to reach, um, let's say, 1K on YouTube, that's when I'll be happy. When I make 1 million, that's when I'll be happy. When I get this car, that's when I will be happy. All that kind of stuff. But I think that's a shallow way to think. This is why. Because if you put your happiness on a pedestal like that, where you're not happy until you get that thing, that's that's limiting yourself to finding happiness. You can literally be happy now and at this moment, at this minute right now, and look around yourself and appreciate what you have now. Because tomorrow, in the next hour, is not guaranteed at all. So appreciate what you have now. Appreciate what God has given you now because He's given you that for a reason. He's given you that as a gift. And you have to be able to see that and appreciate that. And let me tell you another thing too. I personally believe that if you're not able to appreciate things around you now, it will be very hard for you to appreciate when you do achieve those things. So let's say making money, getting a new car. Yeah, you will feel that dopamine. You will feel the happiness. You will be happy for sure. You worked for it and you know you're gonna be happy when you eventually achieve those things. However, you will want more, and then you will set another goal and say, I will be happy when I have that and that. But let's say a year ago, or let's say a couple years ago, you set a different goal. When I reach this specific thing, that's when I'll be happy. But in my opinion, staying in the present moment and looking around yourself, right, and appreciating every single thing you have now is living in abundance, right? It's living in appreciation on what you have. I really want to spread that awareness to you guys and really focus on that topic today because I've had experience where I would set same goals on saying, I will be happy when I have this, or happiness comes from materialistic things, or happiness comes from when you have this and that. But that's really not where happiness comes from. Happiness is, I think, showing gratitude, showing appreciation towards someone or something, and both, really. Because when you can look around and say, I have family, I have friends, I get to go to the gym, I have a car, I have money to buy food, I have water, every single things that you can list down, you will find many things that you can be grateful for. You will find many things that you do have that other people may not have. The only thing is, we like to focus on the things that we don't have. So, one of the things that I would suggest you to start with on being more grateful is sit down, have a gratitude journal, or simply every day take out a journal and write down the things you are grateful for. Whether you wake up in the morning, whether you go to sleep, or in the middle of the day, whenever, right? Write down a list of things you're grateful for. Write down a sentence or a paragraph what you're grateful for. I personally, every night before sleep, I write down the things I am grateful for that specific day. Now, obviously, there are some things that I repeat every day, which is grateful to God, grateful for the food, grateful for my health, grateful for food, all that kind of stuff, right? The simple things. However, it's reminding yourself and being there for yourself every day to tell yourself that you are happy, that you can be happy. You have goals to set. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. However, make sure your happiness does not necessarily come from those goals. Make sure happiness is within you. You are a happy person. You can be a happy person. It doesn't have to be from a materialistic thing, because that materialistic thing itself is not what holds happiness, really. It's yourself. You can have a happiness right here. It doesn't have to come from anywhere else. It's within you. All you have to do is just kind of look around sometimes, really open your eyes, and say, wow, what a beautiful world I live in. What a beautiful life I have. That's a positive thinking. And when you have that thought process, any goal you achieve, you're going to appreciate even more and more because you understand how much work you put in. You really understand the abundance of the world, the greatness of God, the love of God, and a lot more comes with it too. Now, second one that I would suggest is if you had to make a list, right, and write down the things that you have and then the things that you don't have, what if you had to eliminate what you would rather have at the moment and the things that are more long term? Let me give you an example. That might have been confusing. So let's say I wrote down my health is one thing that I appreciate now, my family, my friends, a relationship with God, food on the table, water, like simple things like this, really. A car, a house, a bed I can sleep in, right? The country I am in, because, right, like I immigrated to United States and that was one of the best decisions that my parents made, and I'm forever grateful for that. It's an opportunity here, right? Now, if I had to then write down the things that I don't have that I would like to have, right? Say a nice house, a nice family, a good car, let's say, like really materialistic things, a car, um, then I what I would do is I get to only pick three things that I get to choose. I bet you would pick the ones that you have now and the things that you were born with, things that really, the things that are not materialistic. You know what I mean? Like your family's not really materialistic. Your health isn't materialistic. Your happiness, your joy, your gratitude, it's not materialistic. It's very spiritual, if anything, and that is what can give you happiness. When you go with that mindset, with that thought process, with that thinking, you can really understand that you already have the things to be happy with, happy for. And I want you to really, emphasize on having that positive mindset on happiness. But understand that you won't always be happy. You will feel sad sometimes. You will feel angry. You might feel anxious. You might feel depressed at some moment. However, you can always be grateful. And let me give you another example. God forbid your family member passes away, or your close friend, right? Or your dog, whatever it may be. Something that is not in your life anymore, or someone that is not in your life anymore that really loved, cared about. Now, you can go through the emotions of being sad, anxious, even angry, but through those emotions, you can still be grateful, right? What can you do by being angry? What can you do by being sad? What can you do by just, you know, going out there and projecting the negativity towards other people with your anger? Really nothing. If anything, you are just being that negative person yourself, and you're doing this to yourself, and then obviously doing it to other people too. But when you're grateful and you sit down and think to yourself, okay, this happened, but I can still find a reason and purpose on what I can do next or why it happened, and be grateful what happened, right? The fact that your close friend or a family member passed away, but then you can say, I'm so grateful that I got to spend all those times with them in my life, and I got to meet them. I got to spend time with them and have the good memories with them. That's gratitude. That's something that will never make you feel sad. That's something that will never really hold any resentment in your heart. If anything, that is what's going to heal you. That is what's going to keep you positive. That is what's going to keep you going. Because, like I said before, failures, bad things, tra- tragedies, these things are inevitable. It will happen in your life one way or another. But you always have to be prepared. You always have to meet that thing with a smile on your face and with a positive emotion. Because positive emotion is really what's going to get you through those hard times. Positive emotion is really what's going to get you out of that situation, and still be strong. But with a negative emotion, you're only going to bring yourself down, and you will be emotionally unstable. You will be angry. You won't know how to control yourself. And these are the times where people do go through, right? But sometimes you almost have to go through those emotions to really understand how you should prepare yourself for future. However, when you do know this information that I tell you, or when you can learn this information, then you will know that if this happens, this is a better way to deal with it, right? And I can bet you guys everybody had some kind of experience where something bad happened in our life, or something sad, and we eventually dealt with it in a negative way. We got mad at the fact that it happened. We said, "Oh God, why? Why is it happening to me? Why are you doing this to me?" And the people have this and that. We've had that moment. Then we also had a moment where we found purpose in something. We found we felt gratitude towards something that happened in our life, even if it's bad, right? We found a reason, and we dealt with it with a positive emotion. And when you do know the difference between the two, the only thing that's really holding you back from really doing one or the other is yourself. You have to make the choice. It's really how you go about it. That's really what it comes down to. So I would really suggest that no matter what happens in your life, yes, we will make mistakes. We will probably want to be positive about a bad thing that happens in our life. But it's always keeping in your mind that you have to, no matter what, try to be positive about it and find a good reason to stay positive and keep on going, no matter what. You don't look back, right? Just keep on going forward, and you focus on the future, the goal, in the present. Because the only thing you can really control is the present. So, whatever you're worrying about, whether that's past or future, I hate to tell you that, but you can't change it. You can't do anything about it, but you can do a lot of things in the present. So don't miss the time in the present, because the more time you miss in the present, is more time you're taking away from the future. So focus on the present. This is where happiness comes from. And I hope this message really gets out to most of you guys. Really hope that this will change a lot of your thinking in a positive way, because ever since I realized that, right, my life has changed dramatically. I'm more peaceful, I'm more calm, I'm less anxious, I'm less depressed about my past, what happened in my past. And my relationship with God is so much better because I'm able to tell Him thank you when something bad happens in my life, when something doesn't go my way. I'm still able to say thank you. Because guess what? I still have the other things, right? Let's say I fail in my business, I don't get a customer. I can still say thank you that I have the other things, right? So, gratitude is something that everybody should strive towards, and it is really, really, really powerful when you keep on reminding yourself things you are grateful for. Now, to kind of end off the video here, I will share a Bible verse with you guys. Philippians chapter 4, 6 through 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, which is asking something or a request, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart and your minds in Christ Jesus. So this is a very powerful verse, because that is really what I covered here, is really understanding and telling yourself that there is a reason why this specific thing happened, or finding good reason on why something happened the way it did. Because it can either be a lesson, or it can bring you down. That's your choice. Because everything that happens in your life is really a lesson. It really tries to show you something. It really tries to tell you something. It paves the way for you to go towards. You can reject it. That's your free choice. But I like to believe, right, that God shows us a way. He does things in our life the best way possible. Sometimes we react to that the wrong way. But by trusting Him, because He knows the best path for us, He knows the best way for us. So by trusting Him, we can know that He's not going to rip us off. We know that He has the best interest in our lives. Because when He knows the future and He's given us purpose through love and what's best for us, we can trust Him and move with obedience and with an open heart, an open mind, and a smile on our face, because we can't really control what's going to happen in the future. But with our minds and with our gratitude and with our positivity, we can shape this world into a more beautiful place. And as we go, we can remember beauty instead of anything that's ugly or anything that's bad or anything that's negative. We can really push that out of the way. So, having that mindset and having that perception towards things can really help us out. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about. If you have any questions, concerns, I would love to hear you guys say anything about this topic or anything in general. Check out our podcast, Roasting Big.